So let's continue this with seeing how the Entente reacts to my sort of passive-aggressive attacks. I do want to get these tanks up to the front and see how they work. All right, good. We get some better weather, we'll do better, I think. Yeah, we lost one. Well, we lost one division, and we have rain and or mud. All right. Now, the conclusion that many historians, of course, come to, and I've mentioned it before here, is that the Ludendorff offensive basically could not have been decisive enough to gain a victory for Germany. It just, obviously it wasn't, in hindsight, it wasn't possible to take Paris. Could they, if things had somehow been different, had they made different choices, could they have taken Paris? I don't think so. I don't think the Allies were in that bad of a situation, because in this type of war, if you still have reserves, you can, blunt the enemy's attack. That's sort of the big fault, in which I look at a lot, is the Battle of France in 1914. France commits its reserves, basically functionally all of its reserves, going up into Belgium. And so when the British were like, yeah, well, where are your reserves? We don't have any. No, where the real reserves? France had committed them all. And so that ties them down. That wasn't the case for the Ludendorff offensive. You had the Americans showing up. You had a lot of various reserve units. And so even if there's a major upset in some of these areas, and they did penetrate very deeply, they did destroy, capture lots of enemy forces, absolutely. And the Germans did have something that was already happening, but happened even more, the sort of stormtrooper tactic. So they had this new tactic that wasn't, the human waves of whatever various, whether slow marching or charging human waves of the early war days to try to do it. They had this, smart tactical offensive troops to attack with. And they were hoping it would be a game changer. It definitely allowed them to be effective in attacking without crippling losses. That is for sure. But it wasn't the game changer that really the combination of the tanks. Remember, the reason this all happens, this line of entrenchments, is because of two factors. One, the machine gun, and two, very, very much required to happen along with the machine gun, is barbed wire. Barbed wire and the machine gun. Barbed wire slows up the any sort of movement against you, any sort of attack, long enough for the machine guns to effectively be employed at killing the attacking forces. Now, to my knowledge, the main casualty inflicting weapon is the artillery. But the artillery doesn't immobilize the battlefield. It is the barbed wire and the machine gun that immobilizes the battlefield. And because the battlefield is immobilized, it allows bringing up huge amounts of heavy artillery, or just artillery in general, and pounding the enemy and causing lots of casualties. So that's the main casualty, that my understanding is the main casualty weapon on the Western Front during World War I. What changes the situation, and actually artillery, the mass artillery, is found very quickly to be a detriment to it, but changes the factor, is tanks. Tanks are not only, well, yeah, there are cases of tanks getting entangled in enough barbed wire, but really, not only do they generally can ignore the barbed wire, they actually can clear the barbed wire for following troops, and they are, within reason, invulnerable to machine gun fire. Yeah, we can talk about how shooting the outside of the armor flakes off, spalling effect, little micro flakes coming off that can blind, but definitely cut the faces up of the tankers, and a lot of them had either leather or sort of leather and chainmail face masks with metal sort of goggle things that you're looking through tiny slits to keep the face protected. And it was often enough that you might be getting a little cut through your uniform, but that may not be the major concern. So yeah, you can affect the tanks with machine gun or rifle fire or just other sort of heavy fire, but it's mostly invulnerable. And so tanks really are a game changer. So that gives us good reason for a Entente offensive operations again. And so instead of just allowing the war, because they were really getting prepared for a 1919 massive offensive. This is why they keep, particularly in the American case, things like the BARs away from the front line, because they think the BARs are going to be a game-changing piece of equipment, and they don't want the surprise of them to get out. So they forcibly remove them from the troops that had trained on the BARs and give them the crappier French guns, just because they wanted to not introduce them in piecemeal, but wanted to really come in, have enough and have them, effectively spread out to the American forces and just have, overwhelming firepower, and that be a surprise to the Germans. So you don't want to do what sometimes the Germans did, particularly in World War II, of, we have a few Tiger tanks, let's go use them here. No, you want to keep them sort of back, keep them away from the front, build enough of them, and then unleash them on the enemy. Germany mostly was in such bad situations in World War II by that time that they felt they needed to, we have to stabilize this bit of the front or whatever, so let's feed a few of them in. So yeah, and partially this talk is the game changer of the tanks. So we're going to, now that we sort of kind of have them something on the front lines, we have 6 points, but the mud is slowing them up, I believe. We're going to see what we can do with this. Okay, how best to employ these tanks here? Well, let's start out down here. Oh Okay, I'm going to attack the air unit as well. So let's fire some shells here. I'm afraid there's a unit there, and if I move into it, it's going to say, oh, no, there isn't one there. Okay. Oh, we killed an air unit. Yay. As well as a cavalry unit. Now, here. Okay. Okay, that looks like we can take care of them. Don't know if these tanks are affected by the shell hole effects. Okay, this looks like we can do this. Okay. Well, it looks like it might be an attack without loss. Okay, that is rather effective. Okay, so that took out a unit. We're going to... they've already done everything. Okay, we're going to swap these guys out. These guys are going to entrench the correct format, and these guys are going to now max reinforce. We are going to run a little over time. If you guys, well, don't mind, obviously you can leave. So, but I feel like playing just a bit more. Okay, they still have full action points, and it looks like we can hit this. Let's continue to see if we can destroy their army before advancing. I think that is the key with this game. Not to try to advance into these until we can do so along a more broad front. Just a second. How is the entrenchment there? Okay, yeah, it's looking correct. This has become the graveyard of the French. Oh, damn, you didn't quite take him out. Well, that's all right. Maybe even sort of for the best, because we have a better division there to deal with that. Now, up here, we do have this, and it is fairly, but we got lots of shells. So let's just pound. Oh, damn, I'm forgetting to use my air. So used to the rain. Okay. better conditions, but not... maybe ones we want to... Well, it did put some pressure on them. Okay, well, no, we're not falling into the trap. Ourselves. Here we have 8 shells. And watch their morale fall. And that's all the shells we have. Okay, well. And they retreated out, damn it, because I was going to swap them out and get one more attack. But no, we're not moving, even if we could, and move in there and attack. So we don't want to fall into the same trap that they were in. Now, down here, let's see. This artillery is well placed to either go after that or that. And how many shells? They got 3 shells. Yeah, these guys need to move down here so that they could join in the operation there. Well, I think... there we go. That leaves these fairly well off. Okay, we're going to swap these out. That way these guys, well, no, they can't reinforce more. Okay, well, these guys can. Don't know if any of these are worthy of another sort of distraction attack. Okay, well, let's look for, yeah, most of these weaker forces have attacked or moved, but I want to make sure that anything can reinforce gets it. It doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, that tank attack was interesting. Now that we're on the front lines with it, we may be able to do some good things. And let's look at purchasing. Okay, replacing lost divisions. Another tank corps. Okay, yep, we want to do that after seeing how the last one worked. May 20th for most of these airships. May not be terribly useful, but let's get one. They do have the range. Put that, even though it's going to take a while to get. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's much more to do here now. Let's see. Don't want to get these guys too close. We'll move them up though. Yeah, I think maybe, well, it's diluting our effort, but I think maybe bringing them down here will be useful. Don't know if we're going to get to Ares' dream of cutting off Verdun, but we can make them worried about that. That can be a good thing. Yes, I am using the Blue Max mod. Hello, Nitrogen 99. The Blue Max mod, which is purely a graphical mod. There's two versions of it. This is the standard sort of counter look. They've yet to make special ones for Belgium. And so that you can see, like here, it's level 1 improved, where these are level 2 improved. But, I guess we can look at the purchase thing for like a division. This is a level 1 German unit with a Puckelhub level, the standard unleveled up one is with the Puckelhub. Now they moved level 1 improvement to the Stahlhelm, and then the sort of final level is the camouflage Stahlhelm, sort of representing the stormtroopers of World War One. So yeah, sort of still with the traditional divisional symbols and counters. So I like it. It conveys information well, and it's sort of cool graphics. So using that as a mod. Other than that, we are playing the DLC, the free DLC of the Ludendorff offensive, as opposed to the grand all fronts campaign of Strategic Command World War One. So yeah, we have that. Well, we should move these guys up, shouldn't we? Come to there, you're there. These guys did attack, yeah. So yes, and so if you want your game to either look like this or want to play Ludendorff offensive, you very much can do so. Our Fokkers are fighting soft with camels. Where's Snoopy on this battlefield? Uh-oh. Mark 5 tanks. We're seeing the enemy's tanks. We may have a tank battle here. Not this turn, but tank versus tank battle. Yeah. Okay, we have artillery coming in. Where do we want to put it? I'm always conflicted about the artillery in this game because I like the ability to swap out units on the front line and attack. I also like the ability of artillery. I think we've gotten too much artillery here to effectively push forward, which is the opposite of what was happening in actually this campaign. So we need to do something about that to more effectively push forward, but I think the artillery will be useful. We're getting some concentration down here. Oh, I know we've moved this over here, but I think maybe some artillery here would be useful. We can pound here, we can attack that hex with 5 units plus the artillery, so maybe we can kill it. Okay, so replacement units for the ones that we've lost. That can come up here, this can come here, and heavy bombers. Or no, ground attack bombers. Let's put them here. They're not the heavy ones. These are ground attack, which are more than the recon bombers, but not quite yet to the strategic bomber level. Well, this particular campaign is until the end of 1918. Depending upon how well you're doing, obviously you can achieve a decisive victory by taking Paris and whatnot, but I think which should end it before. But this one starts in March of 1918 and ends by the end of it, so you have a year to play through it. Basically every 4 days. 2 days are your turn, 2 days of the other turn. I think taking Calais is a viable option if you can cut off the British sector. Yeah, I think the sort of passive aggressive attacks may be best. Now we will, 8. Well, before we do any of this, we're going to save this here. Okay. Okay, we've gone a little over, so we're not going to play out the turn, but that would be a fairly devastating attack. We have 3 action points, so this is going to move slow. That could be a hell of a spearhead. That could be a hell of a spearhead. We can kill that unit. Sorry about that. Okay, well, I forget what I'm scheduled to. Order of Battle or something next week I'm scheduled to play, but the week after next I am scheduled back to play more Strategic Command World War I. So we will continue this from this save if you want to come back and watch it then. So we will be playing more. The date, I guess, the Entente has, yes, U.S. is here. We have killed 1 U.S. Army division, and we have seen a United States Marine Corps division that then got moved, I don't know, to the reserves or something. So the U.S. is here and will be increasing its presence over time. So yes, hello PS 359. So yeah, if you haven't already, please follow the channel. You can also follow my channel. That's gamer_1745 here on Twitch. And of course, you can either search for gamer_1745 on YouTube. or there's a link on my Twitch channel that you can follow over there. I'd love to see you around. I stream mostly on the weekends, and yes, we have a German K-Wagon, which is the most advanced possible of the German tanks, and a British Mark IV. I've yet to see the Renault Hotchkiss, so if you want to follow me or subscribe for many more Slytherin games, it's always really good to get a look at the games before you play them. And I hope my history talks are more interesting than boring. So, yes, thank you, Stefan Magnus, sorry, and Van Bishop and Airy. A 7V is not the best tank, or we'd all be driving around in modern day versions of them for tanks. No, it's the Renault FT17. That is the best tank, because that is the template for all tanks that come after it, basically. Things that are proper tanks. Yes, there's assault guns and tank destroyers that are other things, but yeah, no, not the A7V Airy. No, not at all. It wasn't that good of a vehicle, even that one. So, again, thank you all. I really do appreciate it. See you next week.